just allows the attackers to have different avenues. If we do see, like we talked about, a Habana and a Maverick ban, then you're limited to only one push, and that makes it very predictable in how you will go around your setup. Everybody knows how to defend against a triple wall. You pile as many people as you can inside a church and try and take the gunfight. So there is options, yes, but already our first ban will be a Maverick. No surprise. That just means that we're going to see Bandit and Kaid become much more stronger. That's another thing we have to keep in mind. That Kaid is also going to be available for Clubhouse, and that is arguably his strongest map.
You normally ever see a Kaid ban when there's a Thatcher ban, and there's no Thatcher ban coming through yet. Glaz ban, I think, is more about EnD just don't want to play against Glaz than anything else. It'd be interesting to see what the defense ban is now from them. So, like, I don't know. Thinking about the long-term things, yeah, Mirror is a good ban. It's slightly stronger than Mirror is on Consulate, but again, like, Mirror isn't exactly, like, life-saving here.
I think Mirror does give its advantages. We know that there is different Mirror strategies. One that I think I'm going to kind of pick from the crop is that very unique basement hold where you put 2 mirror windows on that triple wall at church. We've seen EG really start that trend where you would leave the middle soft and play those 2 mirror windows, kind of make a smiley face in the wall. And that kind of gives you that aggressive standpoint, doesn't allow that main stairs to really be played. Also means that Memorial cannot be dropped or else you're going to die by a C4 more than likely. Mirror windows kind of shut down that entire push actually being a thing. But then we will actually see both Maestro and Echo be allowed to be played inside this match, as Pulse is going to be banned. Yes, still, Pulse has its way in the meta. We know that Pulse provides intel, has that C4 from below, can deny a plant. And on a map like Clubhouse, which is certainly one of the slower played maps that we have inside of the roster pool, then certainly I think Pulse is a good ban, because that doesn't mean that whenever you do go for the plant at 0.00 seconds, you don't have to worry about being blown up from below.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, but at the same time, Valkyrie has that exact same capability, especially in that late round place, right?
Yeah, but then again, if you're also letting Echo through, you're playing the IQ nonetheless. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm surprised about that. They should be, but they're not, so...
Hell of a
it's just, it's business. We talked about this. If you see 2 strong electronic gadgets on the enemy team, you bring the IQ nonetheless. Sure, if it's just Valkyrie, you can get away with just playing no IQ. If Echo and Valkyrie are both available, you need to bring it. Even if Echo's available, you still need to bring an IQ. There's no way around it. You need to.
Swapping max.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, even in a map like Clubhouse where you don't see massive Echo usage compared to other maps, I mean, that might also just be because he's banned quite a lot, but even not for the plant denial, even just for straight up intel just off of his Echo drones, it's so powerful, and you really can't let him get away with it. But what do you think about the alibi pick here? It's kind of interesting.
We have seen this before on Clubhouse. This isn't a big thing. I think that they're going to bring the alibi just to give them something unique. It means that PACT more than likely have to challenge an alibi. Let's not forget, Alibi still has an amazing gun. That MX4 Storm is no joke. It has great rate of fire, no recoil, can really melt down anybody. Quite similar to what we kind of see from Ella sometimes. A great high rate of fire gun, has that roam potential, has impact grenades, which makes a roamer even more deadlier. And who knows, maybe that alibi target may be able to pick up somebody, which I believe it already has. And also another thing is, if you didn't know, if a drone hits an alibi as well, you also do get tagged. So you could place that in a window. If they try and drone through the window, then that doesn't work. But what also doesn't work is that we're going to be seeing Sparks of Fall Christmas.
Yeah, I guess...
Is he
I
new?
guess that's magic.
It's a little bit late for Christmas, isn't that?
I think it is a little bit.
You think it's magic?
I think it's magic. Yeah.
The Christmas magic?
Christmas magic. I think Magic changed his name and I guess he just didn't tell anyone, or maybe that's someone new. Who knows anymore? But Toro's going to be fight pretty decisively. PACT will win the first round flawlessly. That was very surprising. End with a really aggressive roam game. That just doesn't really work that way on that basement defense.
I think it was more so that I think Sparks was in I want to say a bit of a bad position. You know, you're standing right in the open off office. That's going to be like the #1 place that we're going to see a drone come in. If you want to play aggressive, you want to try and play in towards cash room. You have like a lot of cover there. You have tables you can hide behind. You can try and peek up in towards. That's where your alibis are stationed. That can help you in that gunfight. So there is options there that maybe we could have seen EnD go for. But hey, it's the first round. I doubt this is going to affect them in the long run, as they will go for much more of, I think, a solid choice, as he will be having the Kaid, who, like we've talked about, probably his best map.
So, according to D-Wolf, who's the analyst for PACT in the chat, Christmas is playing in place of Magic. That is not Magic. That is a different man who is subbing in for PACT today.
Well, I must say, he has picked one of the most... probably the most pun-worthy name, I think. I'll probably get a couple of those in tonight. We'll see where it goes.
I mean, it's very appropriate for Christmas to sub in for Magic, though, right? It's very on-brand.
I suppose it is. But, you know, it's that time of year.
It is.
Oh wait, it's not that time of year.
Not quite yet.
Why couldn't this season been during Christmas? This would have been absolutely incredible.
Indeed. Maybe he's just wishing for Christmas to come early.
Maybe he's wishing that PACT could get a win.
Well, he might just give it them, as they had just a very, very impressive round.
He is the Christmas present.
Doing. Yeah, he is the Christmas present.
Yeah, let's see.
So yeah, we will see how it goes down. Round number 2, though, looking already pretty good for PACT, as they'll take early control. And yeah, EnD Gaming again with this really aggressive roam play. And I don't know how I feel about EnD Gaming being this aggressive on Clubhouse.
I think EnD Gaming kind of have that playstyle around them. I think that's just something about EnD. They have the young players. They have the young fraggers. I honestly let them do what they do. We've seen Sloppy go nuts. I'm sure he can probably do the same. Maybe try and get some Christmas nuts. No? Not good?
Yeah, I think we need to...
No? I'll work on it. I think I'm trying too hard.
Yeah. Just a little. But yeah, getting just about 1 minute into the round now. And we're seeing a much more conservative strategy. I think this is exactly the difference they needed here. You see Kaid on the board here as well, and yeah, you do mention this kind of interesting oh, Sloppy! Almost trying to get killed there. This one's not going to happen just yet. This actually will get effectively PACT, and we'll start to gain that upstairs control. This is actually looking pretty good for PACT, because they're making decent time here. They haven't got any kills on the board yet. That could be a bad thing for them. There's no Nitro left from Panic anymore. You talk a lot about Nitros and how they're so great at that kind of late game denial.
Yeah, I think looking at the way that Nitro cells are kind of fit into the meta, teams, I think, kind of want to try and force teams to go for the plant so you have that C4. But then there is some occasions, like for example here, this is a perfect time to see C4 kills, because more than likely, Christmas isn't really going to be expecting C4s at this stage. You know, he's probably going to be expecting those late C4s to go down onto the plant. Since it is a map like Clubhouse, you want to try and hang on to those C4s, because that's whenever it is going to be most crucial. However, PACT, they're looking to creep up in towards that main corridor, and Deep will spot out the Kaid and win that gunfight. However, the refrag will come in. Sloppy, he will find one, but also Aura has found a kill on the turret, as it's a 2 versus 3. And the 2 players from EnD have been completely pushed back out of the bomb site, as B has been taken by the attackers. Sloppy will also find Aura, so it does give them something to work off to, but Elation has to go big with the smoke. This is a guy who we know hasn't been playing up to par with the rest of his team. Maybe this could be the chance. Sloppy rotating in towards that blue. Will he go for the drop? Very risky, because he knows that, of course, the attacker will see his legs before he will be able to see the attacker, and that's what will happen, as Optic will find Sloppy. A double for him. Elation falls as well, and PACT coming out swinging. Who would have expected this? The team that hasn't won a single match this entire season is currently sitting 2-0 on attack on Clubhouse.
I'm actually amazed that when Sloppy dropped Blue Hatch, he didn't look K9 immediately, because that is the classic spot that someone is going to sit to watch that rotate down. So, like, if you looked at K9 and just pre-fired it as his way down, he could have actually recovered that round, but kind of sloppy from him. No? Those cricket sounds?
You're
I
trying.
thought that was
you're getting there. You'll try your best.
We'll get to that.
I'm pretty sure I've used that one before. That's probably why.
We haven't used it yet today, so I think it's good. We'll move
see.
on. As we'll get into round number 3. But yeah, you're right. Like, this is looking like a completely different pack than we've seen in the past. So, getting further through into these rounds, we did say, however, without a hard reach ban, without a Habana or a Thermite ban, Clubhouse tends to be attacker-sided. And I think that's what a lot of people forget when they think about Clubhouse. They think it's so defender-sided. But I really don't think it is. I think it's just more that at a higher tier level, you see a lot of hard breach. You see a Maverick ban pretty much every single time. The Glass ban here, honestly, I don't think it's that great.
I honestly, looking over the course of the last 3 months, I haven't really seen Glass do a lot of stuff. I think back during Season 8, Glass was really, really strong. But since then, because he has kind of been, you know, an immediate ban for so many teams, I haven't seen Glaz at all. I haven't really seen a lot of Glaz play, and even whenever he is allowed, teams don't really choose to pick him. I think Glaz has kind of fallen out of the meta at the moment, which I'm kind of surprised about. Of course, we know he gives that immediate pressure whenever you know there's going to be a smoke canister. Then, you know, Glaz is going to be there. You know that. Do not peek that. But the way that teams have set up their team compositions, nobody wants to bring extra, you know, Dokkaebi or Jackal to bring those extra smoke grenades. If it's just going to be Glaz by himself with only 2 smoke canisters, doesn't really do that much because teams know as soon as you hear one smoke canister go down, just don't peek it, and eventually he will run out of that smoke.
Yeah, I'm also just more thinking about Clubhouse as well. There's no real areas where Glaz can have a massive impact. It's very, very close quarter map. On top of that, the big place where people play Glaz is in that garage doorway. Enter through that, but yeah, that's such a tight angle. But there we go. Optic is going to take the first kill of the round. Double Knight is going to go out, actually. And Tyus moves in to try and get the kill. There'll be a double down coming out as Christmas is out of it. And so Sparks will take down deep. Owl is going to trade it right on back. And it's now a 3v3 situation. That is interesting how that actually played out.
Good engagements. I think that potentially we could see PACT come away with that a little bit better, simply because they still have both of their hard breaches. There is potential here for them to rotate in towards that construction and try and open up B, but Panix could prove us wrong. He could be on here for an easy kill. Yes, he will find it onto Optic. So this surely has swung advantage in towards to end, as Toric and Elation are still full HP. Toric inside of Garage with Elation still holding down the bomb site. And looking at PACT, the way they're going to have to play this, Darius needs to play for frags. He needs to be the big man. If he can win these gunfights, even if he wins it against Elation, that gives them bomb control. We know Toric isn't in a good position trying to stop the plant going in, as Darius will do just that. He creeps on in through the hole. Toxic Babe will go flying past his head, and also Aura will be right beside him, but they've wasted too much time. Toric is now in a great position to deny all of this as ties come in. 2-1, he comes out, and he finds another. Panix holding down the fort with the Valkyrie. And PACT just, they're in the bomb site, but you need to go for the kills. You give so much time for EnD to reposition themselves. Question that.
I think they realized they had to go for the kills. They just didn't get them in the end, and Panix just shut them both down before they could do anything. But yeah, that upstairs attack was a lot worse. I mean, you also look at the early kills that really came out into EnD's favor. The double nitro strategy coming out as well. They committed a lot of utility to stop them taking that server window control. And yeah, it really worked out for them. On top of that, we had a really aggressive early roam game coming out from EnD as well. We also saw jump outs coming out from Jim. We still have this Valkyrie on the board. Like, pretty much every single round, this Valkyrie has been giving so much info to EnD. And even though the first couple of rounds didn't quite go in their favor, they were still reacting to that info. And as you said earlier, last map we had, Intel is the name of the game.
Yep, Intel is what you want. And, of course, I'm still surprised that we are seeing Maestro, Echo, and Valkyrie all being let free. I would have expected at least to see the Echo ban, because I think he is the #1. You know, he is an invisible drone you can't see. Maestro cameras, yes, while they're annoying, once you kill a Maestro, he cannot use that special ability. You could say something about Echo, but then again, you can still turn those Echo drones around, and of course they're cloaked. Maestro cameras were right out in the open. Teams bring, of course, more soft reach to deal with Maestro cameras compared to what we're not seeing the IQ being picked up at all. And if EnD know that PACT don't want to bring the IQ, why are they then not going for the Echo?
Is the first Echo drone called Yokai? What is the second Echo drone called?
Yokai #2.
Hashtag. I have to think about that.
It's the second Echo drone. Well, you want to give the Echo drone a name?
Yeah. I mean, no, because the first one's called Yokai, right?
Okay.
That's his name.
Yokai drone is like the model of the drone. You know, it's like Twitch drone, it's called a shot drone. What, you gonna then not name the second shot drone?
I think it's more personal relationship with Echo. He cares about his
no.
drones.
She made her drone.
Panics.
Unfortunate.
You can't recover that either, can he?
I think he can. I think he's seen, I've seen the animation. Yeah, I've seen the animation for it.
Well, he's going to throw another one. He missed it. Oh, come on. Oh, panics. That is disappointing. The fact that he missed that nitro. Yeah, that was easily like 1 or 2 kills right there, but he won't get either of them. Thermite will come out, no impact tricking either as well, so Optic and Owl both get easy kills in their face, but Christmas will go down in return. Sparkso gets injured out from Owl before that, but PACT are looking really, really good right now to take control of Cash so early on and pick up 3 kills. Incredible.
I would have liked to have seen that C4 not be used in terms of kills. I would have liked to have been used to actually deny the extra permit charge. I think that would have been probably the correct decision. But, hey, in hindsight, is what it is. So looking at EnD, they have Toric and Elation. And really, like I've said in the pre-match, these are the 2 players that need to step up. These are the 2 players that we have seen perform the weakest on their team. They're going to put a mark for themselves and say, no, we can actually kill. This is why we're on EnD in the first place. Then this is the time to do so.
Yeah, definitely is. So Tark's going to be trying to play where he can and go for the pre-fires. Elation still holding this prone angle behind the site. He's going to pop his smoke as well. He peeks out. He does get the down on the hour, but isn't going to kill just yet. Another smoke charge to go down, but it's wasted. He still has 1 more in his back pocket, as well as 2 impact grenades as he peeks out. But no, he goes down before he can even do anything. Deep with a great peek there as Tori goes down to Darius and anti-pact. Tina pact, sorry, will take round before in another great attack on Clubhouse. But as I said, this is pretty attacker-sided with those 2 hard breaches up. But on top of that, we had some great early kills come out from PACT. They had some pretty good overall movement coming out from them. So, and also Gym Bedroom is just a really hard defense to start with.
I'll have you find that. The anti-pact is actually called Eminem. I'll have you find.
Oh, my bad.
Did you not know that?
I didn't know that actually. Thank you for informing me, Devin.
Not impressed.
This is why you're here.
Yeah, this is why I'm here. No other reason.
No other
Just to fuel the Eminem ego.
So, we're going to move to a church Arsenal room defense yet again. The first time this was defended and the second time this was defended, it did not end well for EnD.
Stop trying.
Come on, that was so subtle as well. I went straight into it.
It's too basic. You need to really step out of the... I used to make Eminem jokes.
Yeah, I know, you had a whole
about, you know, like Eminem the rapper. I used to do stuff like that. That's what you need to be about, you know? Not impressed.
What do you think about this defense? We're not seeing a Kaid anymore.
I think the fact that they brought the Kaid was just they brought the Kaid for the sake of bringing a Kaid. There was no real thought behind it. Sure, we know that Kaid can do those electro claws, but whenever we're having so much soft destruction being brought, well, last time we did have also the Buck being brought along with the sledge, if I'm not mistaken. So looking at it, if you're going to try and go for those electro claws, it is very risky, because especially if, for example, Blue Hatch is also opened at the same time, there's not a lot of angles you can really sit that you can try and fire electro claw, because let's not forget, you have to be pretty much positioned right underneath it or a slight angle. You can't just sit right at the back of the boxes inside of Armory and be able to toss your Electro Claw, because one, it won't reach that far, and two, you'll probably miss it anyway.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that sentiment. I mean, it's gonna be hard to get off any of that late round plant denial in the first place. So, I mean, also with the like soft breaching capability that's coming out, you're gonna have rotations cut off. The bomb sites are actually not that close together whatsoever at all. And last time we saw people playing like back Arsenal instead. But there we go, Panics with the Nitro. This time it is gonna find its mark, and Christmas is gonna go down before he can really do that much work here. And yeah, that's actually really devastating, because now they can get away with that impact trick basically for free.
Stay back.
Yeah, that impact trick, as we know, is been a very common thing for the most part. Typically, you see Legion being chosen as that main impact tricker, because Legion on this bomb site overall is a very good pick. There's a lot of high avenues. Well, it's different if we seen the hard breacher bans come in. For example, if Thermite or Habana wasn't a thing, then yes, typically having the Legion, sure, you could maybe get away with that, because there's not many avenues that we know you can play if you don't have all of the hatches open and not possibly triple wall. But in this scenario, yes, Legion, there's multiple avenues, there's multiple angles. You know, I can think of at least 5 different ways you can try and get into a bomb site on Clubhouse alone.
Yeah, there are a lot of avenues here indeed. I mean, I feel like the biggest factor here for PACT is just getting that church wall open and getting in there quickly.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about, especially because the fact that now they really cannot get that kitchen hatch open. It's going to be really, really difficult for them to do that. I don't think they're going to try and do it anytime soon, unless they've already done it. I think Owl actually already did it, because he's actually peeking the kitchen right now. Are going to go down. That does not... Oh, wait, no, he's checking for
He was testing,
yeah. But now
Optic aggressive once again. He could try and crouch his way right in towards that main corridor, but he doesn't have the cover anymore, as Torque and Panics have finished off. The other 2 players, Deep and Or, have also fallen, as it leaves Optic, not Optic anymore, just Darius. Does manage to find Sloppy, and Optic still lives to fight, but of course he's down in the middle of the hallway. Sparks will finish him off, and Darius, I'm sure, will fall eventually. No, the time runs out. And EnD, they will successfully defend their church for the first time. 3 times a charm for EnD. We head into the final round of this half.
that was a much, much better defense from EnD. I think a lot of the winning strategy there came out from that early Nitro coming out from Panics, taking Christmas off the board that early on. And also on top of that, taking soft destruction off the board so early on is a massive factor in how they win that round. But EnD just kind of stalled out for PACT after that point. And yeah, moving into round number 6 though, even though it's attacker-sided, kind of, I would still say 3 rounds on the board here on attack, even if it ends up that PACT don't win this round. 3 rounds on attack on Clubhouse is not bad at all.
I kind of look at it, and if you are attacking, if you manage to break even, it sets you up so good. If you manage to take 4-2 on attack, you're flying high, because first of all, endgame in that scenario would be quite miserable in terms of the morale. You know, they are probably thinking, how can we lose 4-2 on our first half whenever we're defending on a map like Clubhouse, which is certainly more defender-sided. So there is that mentality factor that we come back to. But even if you do manage to split even, it sets you up nicely, because if you think your defense is going to be a lot stronger, then you should have much more of an easier time, which Clubhouse, you have that adaptability factor, I think, for Clubhouse. It is very congested for the top floor anyway. There's not a lot of avenues and options you have. It comes back very similar to other maps where there is only certain avenues you can kind of push in towards. Whereas you look at Clubhouse, it's a massive bomb site. It sprawls over nearly the entirety of that bottom floor. So there is multiple options for the attackers, so there is that potential where attackers could have more favor. But on this particular bomb site, I always kind of see defense really stand strong against everything else.
There's also a lot of good vertical gameplay that can be brought in, and EnD were kind of playing off that quite well. They had a castle playing downstairs last time. They had Nitros available themselves downstairs last time, and I mean, they're not going to be bringing the same strategy as they did last time, but yeah, I mean, you are right. Like, I think a lot of the way that they played this was more just off of the aggression and not allowing PACT to take the control that they so desperately needed. I don't know if the same thing is going to happen again, but If the one thing is for certain, is that EnD should have a pretty good chance of taking the reasons that you mentioned.
Barkster will go for the bandit trick and will be successful, so well done to him for managing to stop at least one set of X-Kyroses anyway. To be fair, I would have liked to see them expect this. It's, you know, one of the most common things to do. Whenever Maverick has been banned, then bandit charges usually are going to be them pick up. But they have used a lot of utility. They've used both sets of nades for that as well, so that means Christmas can only be playing with the C8. They don't have that same fragging into, you know, those kind of deep corners that are quite awkward to get rid of some of the defenders. So it is what it is, but anyway, they got their main objective, which is opening up the wall.
Yeah, and that is really the main objective you need to get open for the site. I always say the two main objectives you need to get open. This east server wall, and potentially the garage as well on top of that. Either that or the construction wall, but you need to get, you know, you need to get stuff open. That's what construction, well, that's what Clubhouse as a map is all about. This is why hard reacher bans are so effective on this map. It's all about getting stuff open early, and they will be able to do so effectively. 50 seconds left to go on the clock, though. Our does have diffuser in hand, and they really got to make that go. Interesting that he's using the hollow here as well. Just want to point out.
I use the hollow on Buck. I think that, you know, personally, if you're playing for free aspect ratio, then having that holographic on Buck really doesn't affect you at all. And it means that you have more recoil control. With the holographic, Buck essentially have no recoil control. With the Eggnog, it has a little bit more kick. But in this scenario, you're playing up close and personal Buck typically. I don't really see many Bucks fighting long angles, because of course, you want to be bucking below, you want to be bucking above. You don't need an Eggnog to see someone who's right below you, right above you. But talking about all this, PACT have just walked straight in and just swept everything. As PACT, they will go and take the lead 4 rounds to 2. My oh my.
PACT has been pretty, like, passive-aggressively upset in the chat today. But,
really?
Yeah. Well, he's been doing the whole K and question mark, and the chat has very escalated that. So, yeah. Great job from him.
Can we get some Ks in chat?
Yeah, some Ks and some question marks in chat, please. Just so we know what sparks those comments have been throughout this match. But moving into round number 7, 4 rounds on the attack on Clubhouse. This is exactly what you need, but it's still kind of what we were expecting going into this, right? Like, with the no hard reacher ban coming through on Clubhouse, said it was attacker-sided. I think PACT have kind of proven that point, but you gotta be pretty happy with that, and you're moving on to the defense. Defense normally, overall, is pretty easy.
I think for the defense, you have a lot of potential. You look at Clubhouse, well, old Clubhouse, the basement, you were stuck inside of both bomb sites. There was no options. That entire blue staircase didn't exist. All you had in terms of rotating for the defenders was either main stairs, which was always watched by attackers, you were never getting up that, or blue ladder oil pit, which again was always watched by an attacker, you were never getting up that either. Now you have a new staircase that potentially you don't really get watched too often. I see a lot of teams try and push in through kitchen and push in through memorial and pay no attention to that loop. That opens up your flank potential, which is going to give you that more impact in terms of roam game. If you have comfortable roamers who can try and go for those lit flanks and really uproot an entire attack, that works well for you if you're going on a map like Clubhouse. But there is one operator that we know has been added that stops all of that, which is Nomad. Unfortunately, no Nomad being played here, but still, is always going to be an option. You could have had a Nomad being 6th picked, but you wouldn't know that. So you always have to kind of keep that in your mindset as you, as a late rotator, as a late roamer. You have to watch out for either a player, a claymore, but now also air jams into the mix of it.
Yeah, Nomad's a very, very powerful operator, and we did see that in the last matchup where Extreme were using it pretty effectively. And they were just, you can just put people into unwinnable situations. It's a very horrible operator to play against. But there we go. Kai Tricking is going to come down. Hopefully the EMP comes down. There we go. It just goes very, very well. Them. We see a lot of that happening recently as well. We saw it in the last map as well, where like Kai Tricking is just not effective at all because you just time the EMP well. You pick it out, and you're wasting utility basically there. that point.
That's why I think we see Thatcher being a ban on a map like Oregon. That's kind of the only map I think I see Thatcher ever being banned. Well, predominantly that's more of an NA thing. We never really see it in the EU, but certainly in NA, they like their Thatcher, which I'm sure you probably could tell us about the kind of Thatcher ban in terms of what it brings.
I mean, we've also seen Thatcher ban on Clubhouse very rarely, but yeah, you are right. It's more of an NA thing, but yeah, like, the Thatcher ban should basically force a Kayed ban at that point, but this is also why Kayed is so powerful, because he has 2 electricals, so he can connect patches, and also he has 2 impacts, so he can then impact electricals as well, that he could also electrical on top of that. So this is a massive amount of hard breach that one operator brings, and yeah, he's just done his job there quite well. Not as well as maybe you might imagine, but well all the less. Elation will take down Deep, however. That's looking pretty good for EnD.
Yeah, Elation, that's a massive 2 kills from the Habana. That's what we want from Torg and Elation, to finally get a little bit of confidence around themselves. We want them trying to go for these kills. As Sparkso, he will put down Aura. This is falling apart for PACT unless Optic can do anything about it. Sees Elation, pushes in, but no, Elation, a trip for him. As Christmas, what can he do instead of a 1 versus 5? Whips the Alda shots. A flawless for EnD, and that's gonna be their first attack in the bag.
Absolutely, yeah, flawless from them. But also, that's exactly how PACT just did their first attack as well. It went completely flawless for them. Obviously, it worked out a little bit different, and we're playing a very aggressive roam game. This time, PACT weren't, but really, all you need on Clubhouse is just control, right? You need the control, you need the utility, and your attack can go pretty clockwork, and we did just see how clockwork it can go. And just did a great job of that overall. I think that PACT just weren't playing aggressively enough. Like, they let them take control of so much. The Cade did a lot, but maybe not enough. We didn't see any C4s really coming out from them in force. And yeah, I mean, I talked about how Panic getting that C4 basically won EnD the round during their defense of that site. We didn't see anything similar coming out from PACT. They will immediately change things up, realize that that downstairs site is not good right now, and they'll go upstairs instead. They're quite more successful site we've seen so far from the defense.
Certainly that upstairs gives you, like I've talked about, it kind of congests the attackers. It means that you kind of dictate the way that the attackers play as defenders, which I think is a scary thing to have at your capability. Because it comes back into that one-way playstyle that some bomb sites, not all bomb sites, but certainly some of them do fit into, which is a little bit of a worry for attackers, that you don't have that same options and flexibility, similar to how I think Oregon kind of struggles as a map. That's why we see less Oregon being played, because teams have realized once you defend the first 2 bomb sites, you don't really have much to go off. You look at, for example, in Oregon, that dining room, you can only attack that from one way. If you think about potentially a map like Border, once you defend Armory and Ventilation, the other 2 bomb sites, you can only really attack them those one way. That's sometimes where I think this bomb site kind of fits into that. Yes, the construction take is viable, but it kind of comes at a risk because you then have to take control of the entire bedroom side. There is typically a bandit who will be tricking, and it's a much more safer bandit trick compared to what we see over at the main double, because of course this window that Christmas is peeking at is typically a nade central area for the Buck or the Sledge of the team. And Christmas may be looking to try and eliminate said Buck, but no, barely misses the spray, and Elation will put him down.
That was actually still smart from Christmas to peek it like that, because as you said, it's kind of like nade central, and you kind of want to peek the Book as he's trying to throw the nade. Optic still hiding in this rat spot, is going to get found out by Elation. He goes down, the rat is exterminated, and there we go, a 3v5 situation looking very, very good for EnD as they start split push actually. East wall gets opened up, as well as construction getting opened up, and as I said, these are main objectives. Alan's going to try and make his way back to the site, however, via the flank from bedroom, and PACT are looking pretty bad right now.
Deep trying his best, see if we can try and find the angle, and this is why we typically see the Thermite or Habana ban being a thing. Because look at how the players of EnD have set up. They have Thermite opening up the main double wall. That means that that entire bomb site gets shut down, but then you also have Elation who's solo pushing as Habana, opens up yet again another hole, and quite smartly it's going to be a feet-high hole. That means that you can no longer try and lie down and prone, because more likely you lose that gunfight. You cannot try and run across it because they get shot either way. This is great from EnD. Can they capitalize? No, Deep. 2k on the sloppy, on the panics. But still, you have one more player located in towards that bedroom side. Deep has the MP5, has the ACOG. Also, 2 stim pistols available for himself. Can possibly use that to give himself an extra juice. Or if he does get down, potentially, he has a lot of cover. He can then try and revive himself. So there is potential here for PACT.
Yeah, there is a lot of potential here, as Deep is going to try and peek around the construction. He sees the Havana, and there goes Elation. Torek is going to take down Hour, but right in return, Darius takes one down. Sparkso is out of it, and it's all down to Torek, but he can't find it. Deep with a 4k. As PACT will hold on. They'll take round about 8, and they're doing pretty well for themselves. Indeed, Success defense worked out pretty well for EnD as well, and I think pretty much in the same way. Like, there was so much aggression coming out there from PACT, and that's really how you have to hold this.
In that scenario, that should always be an attacker win. You have both hard breach walls opened up. You have basically cornered both of the defenders in towards that back corner, in towards the stairs, in towards the cover beside the bomb. There's not a lot of options that the defenders can sit. You, as a team, should know that. There is only 2 options there. They either try to play aggressive behind the cover, that, of course, we've seen Deep do, or they just try and sit back, and then they kind of give the attackers the free range, and then possibly go for a retake. I'm quite curious the fact that EnD, once they opened up all of those openings, why didn't we then see a second wave of drones come in? If you have opened up different angles, and you should know what angles cover which, you should then have drones just to find out the remaining positions, and then you can try and push that, of course, in the meantime, with having all of that intel being gathered by those drones. I'm curious about that.
I mean, that's a good point. Like, drone economy hasn't been great from both teams, and that's kind of weird because
surprising.
EU is a region that's very notorious for having great drone economy. So, yeah, that's been a big mistake. Like, intel, again, is like a very important factor, sure, but not having drones is kind of like a very basic Siege 101 thing that hasn't been really happening for either team. But that's probably going to play much heavier into the favor of the defense. But Gym Bedroom now, we talked about it a little bit, not a great site for a defense, and there's a big potential for PACT to start falling off now, but on the flip side of that, if they take this defense, or they take any other defenses, they can secure their draw.
My friend would say, time to make a new door.
Christmas hasn't really been here. I'm quite surprised that, again, you're a new player, you're coming in, you're filling the shoes of Magic, who we know can sometimes be consistent with his performance, but if Magic goes big, he goes big in a big way. So there is a lot of pressure on Christmas. At the moment, he's currently sitting on 1-7. That's not really what you want from your stand-in. You would like, typically whenever these stand-ins play, they kind of go off on 1, which I'm quite surprised about. That kind of a thing. That shouldn't be a thing, yet it is. Take, for example, at the Atlantic City Finals, we see Gunter Ricchetti stand in for what was Penta, now G2. He went off on 1.
Yeah, subs can have that kind of like Dark Horse effect where people aren't like afraid of them, and then all of a sudden they just pop off like that. And yeah, it can be very, very dangerous to kind of play against a team that you expect them to play a certain way and they play a certain other way. I've definitely experienced that before in my competitive experience. It can be bad, but Sloppy moves all the way down to logistics. He picks up a 2-piece, a 3-piece for Sloppy as he takes down Deep as well on the refrag, and it's now all down to Optic in a 1v4. No Nitro available for him, and plenty of time left for the attackers to drone him out and take him down.
Optic, main stairs, what can you do, bud? Not a lot really in this scenario. 2 minutes planted, it wouldn't be surprised if PACT wins that gunfight, but no. Optic gets 1 kill for his trouble. That's just Sloppy being sloppy. But, hey, Optic tries his best. Any kills he get from here really should be an impact. His kill, that bridge is going to be opened, and Elation takes full advantage of it. EnD Gaming bounce back. They pull themselves back with just within a round distance. That does mean that we will either head to a gym and bedroom, or we will either head back downstairs. Cash is still locked out at the moment, which is the only defense that we have seen PACT win so far.
Absolutely great job from EnD Gaming to take control of logistics so early on. It's such a hard area to take control of because it's normally quite heavily contested from the areas from construction as well. And yeah, I mean, it kind of just goes all over the place, but we are going to have a rehost. Unfortunately, not the first one today. Maybe Sparkster can rejoin before.
I don't
we
think
have.
it. I
But no,
don't
we
think
don't
it.
believe, unfortunately.
I think we're kind of getting punished from last week. We didn't have a single rehost last week, whereas the other guys in the Rainbow6 Benelux, I think, had like 6 rehosts.
Yeah, now we're all getting the rehearse, and they're good.
Well, we
Hopefully
don't know
they're good.
that one.
We don't know that.
It is. But hey,
That's true.
looking at it anyway, we have seen 9 rounds so far being played, and it has been very back and forth. Looking at it, PACT took the first 2, and then 1 PACT, and PACT, and PACT, and very, very back and forth between across the rounds. The only difference was that PACT took those first 2. Overall, I think this has been a very good contested match from arguably the 2 weakest sides that we have coming into the CL. I think it kind of shows there has been mistakes on both sides. There has been, I think, one big throw, which was that cash room attack for EnD. That was a big one, I think, that they could have won and really could have seen them over the edge, could have had their morale being boosted mega. But overall, PACT, I think they've shown us something that we haven't really seen, and that's wanting to actually take a gunfight. PACT, whenever they played against M&M, they just didn't want to go anywhere near any of the roamers. They didn't want to challenge Doki or Citizen or even Nello on bomb site. They didn't want to take any gunfights. This time, you look at Deep inside that cash defense. He took the gunfight. He got a triple, just playing aggressive, catching them by surprise. They're taking risks, which PACT is a team who know they are so far behind everyone else inside this league. They have nothing to lose, and those are the teams that are the scariest to play against.
It kind of goes back to the point that I made about how having a sub in the team, like, people are going to do a lot of prep going into these games. Like, it's a league game. Not only that, it's a best of 1. And you have to play perfect Siege to get out of best of 1. So you have to do your homework. You have to do a lot of prep. You can't really experiment with much. So, yeah, and you're, like, looking at PACT, you're looking at how they play, and you're thinking, okay, we expect this. Then they bring in a sub. Then they start to play really aggressively. Now they start to play like they have absolutely nothing to lose. And you've encountered a completely different team than you had done previously. But I still think it's kind of offset by the fact that this half is kind of going the exact same way of how the defense rounds went for EnD Gaming, right? Where they lost their downstairs defense twice, and then they went back upstairs. This time, PACT went upstairs earlier than ended. So, probably a little bit better coming out from PACT, like adaptation wise, to realize how this map is played out. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, looking at it, and they lost their first church defense. Well, they lost both of their church defense, so that's the only, I think, anomaly we have. And then they went cash. They won cash. They went bedroom. They lost bedroom. Looking at the way that we seen PACT, they lost their church. They won their cash. They lost their bedroom. So certainly a very similar style of things. But now we go into round number 10. Cash room is still currently locked out for at least one more rotation. So that means PACT still have that gym bedroom available, or they can take their chances downstairs. Personally, if I'm PACT, I would like to see that downstairs, because I think their gym and bedroom was so much more weaker than what their church really was, even though it was still a flawless. Church is very unpredictable in how the rounds from church play out, because like we said, there is certain pushes that you can go for. There's multiple ways that you have. So if you're going to be PACT and you're going to be defending, you have more of a chance, because like we've talked about, if you win your gunfights, you win that Colossus arena fight at the end of the church round.
Yeah, and we've seen 2 flawless church rounds now, right, on the attack. It's a pretty easy attack to win, because it's very easy to get map control, and as we talked about 2 hard breaches, that attack becomes so much harder with 1 hard breacher, especially with the introduction of Kayad as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes it much more difficult. We've not actually seen Kayad being that effective so far, but we did see him during that church defense. He denied the hatch twice on Moto before it finally got opened up. Then he denied the wall once, and then 2 more times with the impacts as well.
Yeah.
So, like, that has so much utility then. The fact that the Kayad is getting through like that, it does say a decent amount about how, teams actually want to play around that basement. But other than that, I don't think Kayad's really that effective on, like, the other sites here on Clubhouse. So I think we're only going to see him downstairs. On top of the fact that he's that effective and he's doing that much, we still didn't see a downstairs victory coming out from PACT. But Maybe we'll see it now. Maybe we'll see it coming out. That, of course, was the saving grace for EnD Gaming when they went there. They did go downstairs and eventually won that on their third defense, but so far for PACT, not looking too great. They are within striking distance to give themselves at least a draw here, which I think they'll be very happy with.
Looking at the kind of Kaid and what he brings to the table, I don't think he's honestly that strong. Sure, he has his uses, but kind of looking at what we've seen from last match against Extreme and M&M, where we've seen that great timing from, Kaid threw out his Electro Claw and the Thatch Grenade caught it mid-air. This is where teams have now adapted to play against these Electro Claws. Overall, the fact that he only has 2 certainly means he's weaker. I don't know if giving him back his third one would make a difference. There is that possibility. But maybe because, whenever we did that whole TTS off Kaid and Nomad, whenever he did have 3 Electro Claws, yes, he was very strong. That's why he got one taken away from him. But now this is where the meta has adapted. That was way back when our teams didn't know how to play against him. You can say that about every operator that comes in. Look, for example, whenever Maverick first played, he was carrying up the joint. Now teams know how to play around a Maverick. You know certain Maverick positions. Teams are now always trying to watch their reinforcements whenever you know there's a Maverick. So teams have started to overcome those troubles they had. And maybe, if you do give Kaid back his third Electro Claw, then we could see more utility from him.
Potentially. I think it's more like, if he has 3, then we talked about the EMP effectiveness coming out.
Yeah. That's just Thatcher, though.
I think.
But then again, Thatcher with only 3 EMP grenades, is that maybe too little for him if you also give Kaid back his potential? Wow, sloppy. New gun. I like this.
Yeah, he's really good finger guns,
Is this a new camo? Is this the camo? Is this just the camouflage camo?
The pure
is this
camouflage, yeah. Like the reflected stuff. I think he's just PPing with his fingers. I think Sloppy's capable of that.
The magazine just disappears. The gun just eats the magazine. This is good, this. Wow.
I like this angle as well.
That's the power of the Force right there.
He's learned well. He's definitely learned well. But like Sloppy holding this angle, that means he has control of main stairs. That means they can't rotate up there and push to that area. He's going to rotate out. He's going to open a moto hatch. They're going to drew the drone out and gaming. They're going to take a lot of control.
His gun's on the observation screen. Do you see that whenever he was in third person? The gun's there, but if you go back to him, it's not.
It's a Jedi mind.
Wow.
But Panix is going to pick up a very good early kill. Like that's blue control right now, right? So that opens up a church push, and you really need that blue control to go for the church push, and they're going to be able to do that very, very effectively. Panix could be. I'm guessing he did that for the Legion charges that are in blue. So good for him to do that. I just hold it down. But Deep is going to take control of that. The church wall is going to get opened up pretty effectively so far. It's like Impact might just come down here.
Yeah, looks to be, but quite smartly, Torek, he's crouched and he has put it as far down as he can. And those same Habana holes, I love the Habana holes. These are quite unique. I don't think I've seen anyone do these, and where you kind of place him in towards that field level. Nobody's going to be proning in towards this area. But Christmas just still alive with 1 HP and a dream. He certainly needs a Christmas miracle, but no, Sparks will be in the Grinchness scenario, ruins the Christmas present. And that means that PACT are starting to slowly crumble under the might of the EnD Gaming roster. Panix drops, gets himself a free kill, and a double for him. Big round from the Swiss. And well, and they pull it back, and they square things up. 5 rounds apiece.
Panix did what Sloppy should have done when he did that same rotate down blue hatch, right? He looks at K9 immediately, but that just means they have more intel, which means that the drone work coming out from EnD is much, much better than it has been from PACT so far. Round number 11, it's looking kind of swiffy for PACT, but we are going to go back upstairs to the CCTV cash room. This is their big opportunity to close this match out now and secure that draw, but we are going to go the distance regardless.
This, at the moment, at round number 10, we have a 70% attacker win. That's strange for me.
Really? Honestly, I'm not surprised by this.
I am, because I always thought these particular bomb sites that we're seeing, for example, Cash has really been the only one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, looks to be... Actually, no, there was one church defended. Yeah, there was one church defended by EnD, but overall, the 2 Cash that we've seen, well, there's 3 Cash being played. 2 of them was won by defenders, 1 of them was won by the attackers. Very strange statistics, to say the least.
I mean, yeah, it is strange, but as I said from the start with the bans, you don't see a Habana or a Thermite ban.
Yeah,
that's true. We also saw a Mirror ban, and I still think that while Mirror isn't that powerful in Clubhouse, she has her uses. Maybe not downstairs. I think this is basically the only site, well, other than maybe GM for some specific setups, that CCTV Cache is basically the only site where Mirror is really useful. And the fact that we don't have that might actually put things at the massive advantage for attackers on top of the no thermal.
Clear.
I believe if EnD Gaming manage to break through this Cache defensive pack, I think they will go on to win the game outright. But I kind of think if PACT manage to win this, then they could potentially go on. So I think this is a very crucial round because, of course, whoever wins this round will put a match point. They at least secure themselves a point. And that means that enemy team who's on the back foot have all of the pressure on top of them.
Yeah, they definitely do have a lot of pressure on top of them. Anyone who wins this round is going to secure themselves a draw. Is going to secure themselves a point, and that could be pretty much a saving grace for either of these teams right now. But Logistics is going to get set up to drop into. It's like it's going to be pretty much the same push that EnD Gaming did the last time, where they did kind of like split push through construction and through onto the east wall. It actually was going pretty well for them until Deep just murdered everyone. So if they can shut down Deep, I think this should go really well for them. And there we go.
Yeah, easy enough for Sloppy. However, Christmas finally gets himself a kill after a very long dry spell for himself. And still, this time, Smoke is alive. The last time we seen PACT play this bomb site, Christmas died off very early as a Smoke. But then again, that didn't really come into the effect and round. You see Deep go absolutely insane on the dock. But this time, Deep's dead. So will Christmas do what Deep had done in the previous rounds? We'll have to see.
Kind of surprised that Christmas wasn't trying to impact right there. Maybe he was afraid of Zofia charges and stuff coming over that wall, but he's gonna die anyway, so he's not really gonna matter. Panic's gonna take him down. It's gonna be PACT looking pretty bad right now. They have got a bit of time on their side, but Optic just peeking completely unnecessarily. He's gonna be on a sliver of HP, but Owl with the flank. He's gonna find Elation. He's gonna even the score, but out into a 3v3. And looking much better than that. Recoverable, and Legion Mines are gonna go down, but instantly destroyed by the EMP. It's 35 seconds left to go on the clock. Now we're still holding down from bedroom as the push is going to start to come down. Sparxo looking for that refrag as he does almost find an hour and a sliver of HP right now, but Sparxo with Diffuser has to find his way into the site. It's do or die. It's now one. Nothing. The Thermite goes down, but Panics is going to take down Hour. Sparxo takes down one as well. It's all down to Optic and a sliver of HP. And a dream as Optic just try and play around the cash room behind the table and holds it down. Sophia knows he's there. He gets Sophia charged twice. Sparxo goes for the plant and the diffuser. There's no plant denial. There's no nitro coming out from Optic, and the diffuser goes down successfully. So is going to get it down. Optic going to push all the way up. Does manage to down one. He sees where Sparxo is. He confirms the kill into Panics. Goes for the quick reload and tries to get back to the site. Sparxo is going to be holding it down. He tries to peek it out. Optic tries to go for the long arm to try and bait out Sparxo to peek it. He has to peek it right now. Sparxo does see him and he takes him down. And EnD Gaming will secure the draw and put themselves on match point.
I honestly, for a split second, thought he didn't see his hand. I actually think he didn't see his hand. He just went for it. Wow.
Well,
Risky.
Also the fact that the diffuser turns red, right, when it's getting counter-diffused. So I think that's what Sparxo's really looking at there.
It's fairly simple just to hear the diffuser anyway. But hey, is what it is.
Sometimes sound is a bit iffy.
Wow, he went there.
It is. It's not reliable enough, I think, if you're playing like that far away.
Buy some headphones, forehead.
Yeah, apparently.
No? That's simple enough. No?
Simple.
Not good.
But that's going to be good enough for Sparxo, as EnD Gaming will take that round and will put themselves on match point. But we're going to see another CCTV cash room hold. I really think that the saving grace here for PACT is going to be all about keeping, Christmas alive. the fact that he didn't impact trick is really confusing. Because he has impacts, and the only reason why I can think that a smoke has impacts in this situation is so he can impact trick that construction.
We very rarely see a smoke with impacts. Like you said, it's a quite unusual thing. Typically, we see smoke sometimes being only barbed wire being brought, as there is different gadgets that there is. You know, sometimes we may see 2 nitro cells, a set of impacts, a deployable shield potentially, a bulletproof cam. It's kind of got to that stage with the introduction, you know, of the bulletproof cam, and possibly, let's not forget, with next season, the new deployable shield, then we could see barbed wire become less and less. So I kind of think teams need to get in the habit of still bringing at least some barbed wire. Because if you're not going to be bringing barbed wire on certain defenses, like none at all, you're literally asking for a crouch walking Ash to eliminate everyone.
Yeah, you definitely are. Are we going to be playing the castle this time rather than the Jaeger? Darius will take up that role instead. But Deep going to be holding down the dock. We do also see the roaming Valkyrie downstairs. I did talk a little bit about this at the start, where the Valkyrie was allowed in, and you can see that Plantanel coming down from the site. But this is also, like, to me, like, I don't know why the Pulse was banned here, because you're not bringing IQ. We still haven't seen any Echo come out from either team, which is really surprising. And I don't know, there just seems like a Valkyrie can do the same thing here because the site is so closed down. You said it yourself about how Cash is so, like, narrow in its attack.
Another thing that kind of surprises me, but it kind of fits in, and I'm surprised that neither team has actually realized this. We have seen this be very attacker-sided, this entire map, rounds back and forth, back and forth. Echo is available, and neither team has ever picked up an Echo inside this match. Is that possibly a reason why we're not seeing anything?
Is that possibly a reason we're not seeing a single IQ?
I just find it strange. Echo's there to be played, one of the strongest operators in terms of intel and denial, and especially on a map like Clubhouse, which is very slow-paced, really comes down to straight down to the wire in terms of rounds being played. I don't get it. I really don't.
But Smoke already going to go down. Christmas was a bit of a disaster. He's still running down to the garage to see what he can do. This is a really dangerous situation for PACT because they basically have given up complete control of the server side. Historic has opened it up. And Sparkzell has defused it yet again. Deep still has a decent angle, and he still has decent control here in the garage, but it's also going to take out an hour. It's definitely going to make things a little bit easier for EnD to secure the win. Tori takes down Deep as well, so that must be side secured here. Sparkzell runs in, he takes down Darius. It's all down to Optic. He's not going to be up to downstairs control, as he's going to give that up. Still has a Nitro in hand though, but the diffuser has gone down successfully, so he's not going to be able to deny that, as Optic looks to re-secure the site, but it's a 4v1. It's not looking too good for him right now. The MP is in hand, he goes for the pre-fires where he can, and he has this little hole into construction. He's going to open up with the Nitro, but not going to be able to find its mark just yet. It's all the way in, goes for the pre-fires where he can seize one onto Panics, and gets the Deagle out to try and finish him off. But no, he'll miss the shots, and no, Panics will win the pistol duel, will take it down, and EnD Gaming will secure their win with round number 12.
EnD Gaming, they get themselves another win on the board, and certainly against PACT, who we know is the weakest side currently in the standings. PACT, there's things there to be proud of. I think that the whole just go for it strategy worked out some rounds, but then there was sometimes I think they got carried away. There was moments there where they really needed sometimes to play a little bit more relaxed and let EnD kind of sweat it out a little bit more. But looking at some of the statistics in terms of the rounds,